Hello, Mass Attacks here, and the Italian heavy tank line has been released, so I'm going to show you my pick of the bunch, and it is the Tier 9, the Progetto C50. So as always, before we get into the battle, I'll show you my crew and equipment that I'm currently using on this tank. My crew on this tank are quite good already. I got a commander from Twitch Prime, Captain Herewith. She's on to her 4th skill now. Then I had 3 female crew members in my barracks, so they're all onto the 3rd skill now. The equipment that I'm using on this in the special survivability slot is vents. Then I've got an improved rotation mechanism and coated optics. I'm also using the premium consumable food. So let's have a look at it in battle. Today I'm playing on Roomba. It's a standard battle, and I've got the 7-8 matchmaking, and I'm top tier today, and I'm heading straight into town. Now these tanks have just been released. I think this battle's the 2nd day after they were released. I'm one of them people that's finished all the lines, so I didn't have to grind any of these tanks. I had enough free XP and blueprints and credits to purchase all 4 of these tanks straight away, so I could test them all out, and this is definitely my pick of the bunch. Now on this map, since it got changed, if you spawn on the south, I find it really difficult to pick the corner to me left, so I like to start down here. If you push right in like I have, then you hold down and you can get some great shots into the middle to help your team. If one of your team members pushes behind the buildings on the street, he'll light everybody up behind them. You'll be able to get shots into them from this position, and also where that link 66 is pushed into. Every time he peeks, I should be able to get a shot into him. There he is, and a snapshot into him. So this tank, as you'll know, it's an auto reloading system, the same as on the medium tanks, but it's slightly different, as you can tell with the beeping sounds. Each shell loads in stages, so if you take a shot and it's at a certain stage, you don't lose as much reload time to reload that shell. But I do have to say, the reload time for each shell is quite long on this. So I'll tell you a little bit about the gun on this tank. You do get a 120mm gun. It has 242mm of penetration, which is quite good, it's not excellent, and 400 alpha damage. And with my crew and equipment, and I'm running food as I said, I've got an aim time of 2.36 seconds, which is nothing special, but the dispersion is 0.32, which is quite good. Just push to try and get this Visconti out the game. Got 2 shots into him and he's been finished off. Where's that pesky lynx? And I've taken that lynx out, so I'm just pulling back now. I will be lit. So back to the gun, the reload time. You do get 3 shells in this magazine. You do have a reload time of 11.38 seconds for the 3rd shell, 12.26 seconds for the 2nd shell, and 14.01 for the 1st shell. So you will have the best DPM if you're just firing that 3rd shell, but if you get the opportunity to unload all the clip, I would do it. But do remember, if you have a little pause between shells, it is reloading the next shell, and you won't lose all the reload time. Now a few of my team are trying to push the street that the Visconti was in, but it's left this corner short, so I've made me way to it, but I'm really wary. I'm not going to push round. As you can see, there's a couple of tanks on the top. One is a T30 and an Emil 2, an auto loader, so they could take us out between them, so I'm not going to push round there. And then there's the tanks on the bottom, just trying to peek. I've been hit at the back from the guard from the middle. Luckily I tried to avoid another shot from the middle, and I bounced a shot where I absorbed it in my tracks from the Emil 2. So I've just positioned myself behind the pile of rubble, give myself a little bit cover, but I don't really want to stop in this position, so I'm going to try and turn round, push back into the rubble at the side of the road, see if I can get any shots into the middle if our T-54 lights them up. So I'll tell you a little bit more about this tank. The armour, I find the armour isn't too bad. It's not the best armour, but it isn't too bad. As you can see, I've just bounced a shot there. So on the hull you get 130mm on the front, 70mm on the side, 40mm on the rear. But then the turret, you get 195mm on the front, 105 on the side, 105 on the rear. And what I didn't mention is you get 9 degrees of gun depression with this tank. So that 195mm, if you hold down using your gun depression, is really good. Now we're struggling in the city a little bit now. We've lost a lot of tanks. So I do want to support the field. If they can win the field, they will flank round the back. There's an RHM. I'm getting one shot into him. Somebody else getting a shot into him and managed to take him out. Good tank to get out the game. Now I have fully emptied my clip. So I'm vulnerable at the moment. And I can't support the middle. So I'm just waiting for the reload. There's an enemy Progetto C50 pushing behind us. He's not even looking at us. And I managed to reload one shell and take him out with it. Good job my teammates had fired at him. I did empty my clip again there, so waiting for a reload again. So this tank, the equipment that I've got on, I haven't really had that much of a play around with them, but I am thinking about dropping the coated optics, putting a vertical stabilizer on, just to make the gun handling a little bit better. I did have one on in the first place instead of the improved rotation mechanism, but I found the turret rotation really slow. So my team's won the field now, so I'm trying to push up this street. Nothing here. I should be able to spot okay because I have got a view range of 484 meters. That's why I'm thinking about dropping the coated optics. I may not need it. So I'm pushing through, nearly got a full magazine. I've got 2, now 3 shells loaded, so a full magazine. I'm just waiting for my teammates to push through. The Pantera just to support us. T-54 is a one-shotter, he's pulled back. Getting a shot into the T-30 and took him out. Good tank to take out. Finished the T-54 off. I've got 1 shell left in the clip and I'm going to fire it. And I've managed to track the ML2 and get a shot into him. So I'm just pulling back now. All my teammates are pushing in now. Don't think I'll be able to get another shot in. It's behind the church. So I've loaded 1 shell. I'm going to try and push in. I'm not going to be able to get there in time. And he's been taken out. Let's have a quick look at the stats. Was a class 1 badge and we got the top gun for our 6 kills. Top of the tree for XP with a base XP of 1195. Second for damage with 4056 damage in. We made 95,000 credits, but that's due to a personal mission payout. Plus 10,758 XP, that's due to a personal mission payout and a personal reserve bonus. I'd like to thank you for watching today's battle. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope some of the information was useful for you. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. There's a little icon in the bottom right hand corner. And if you have any feedback, please could you leave it via the thumbs buttons in the comment section below. Cheers.